Hi, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Beter.
And this is the Brittany and Beter Bodcast. Bitch.
Brr!
Hello.
Hello. Wait, no, my chair wasn't ready.
That's staying in.
Welcome, everyone, to the next episode of the Brittany and Beter Podcast.
Welcome.
Episode 5.
Episode 5. We are recording at Hills Podcast Studio. So shout out to Hills Podcast Studio.
Shout out.
What are we going to talk about?
So, just so you make sure that you tune into the next episode where we do have a special guest coming in.
We're having our good old pal, Cameron Wombeck.
Okay, she spoiled it, but there we go.
Oh. Was I not supposed to say it?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, so we're going to have a special guest. Anyway, basically, we were going to do that today, but we had more pressing topics to talk about instead. Due to, well, you had a recent really big day.
I did have a recent really big day.
And yesterday was the anniversary of a really big day for me.
Yeah.
So today, for this episode, we are going to talk about concerts. Concerts.
Indeed. Concerts. This is starting off so chaotic already.
Yeah, exactly.
This is so chaotic.
For those that are tuning in, we've just come off recording our last music review. So
and we're very passionate.
we're high strung. And we are high strung for these fucking...
Yeah, I'm hyped to talk about this.
Damn.
Should we talk about it?
Cool. All right.
Okay.
Let's go.
So 2 weeks ago, not even, a week and a half, something, yes. I don't know. I went to the Eras tour for the second time. I did go last year. No. Yeah, last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
Last year. So I recently went to the Eras tour in Sydney. Last year I saw her in Houston, in Texas. That was amazing. And what's your equivalent?
Well, last year I saw my favorite artist of all time, literally one of my lifelong idols, live in the flesh. That is Snoop Dogg. And not only did I see him live and I was front row at his concert, but I got to meet him in person, face to face.
Crazy.
Literally never would have thought that was on my life bingo card. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. But where do we start? Where do we start in general?
Answer me this.
Yes.
Was it the best day of your life?
Yeah, it was.
How cool is that?
You know how I know?
How?
Because I had a previous best day of my life.
Bro,
this surpassed.
I don't know the best day of my life. Probably the Eras tour. But I don't know. I don't know what...
Sydney or Houston, Texas?
I would probably say Houston.
Interesting.
Some things went wrong on the Sydney one.
Damn, that's how I felt about 50 Cent, the 50 Cent concert. Some shit went wrong and wrong. And I was there like, why did this have to be my night? Yeah.
Sober. Any other night, none of this would have happened. I agree. So.
What went wrong?
Okay. So it was on Delina's birthday, which was amazing. We were like, great, we can go see Taylor Swift on your birthday. Who doesn't want to see Taylor Swift on their birthday? It was fucking hot.
Yeah.
It was so hot, Peter. I cannot tell you how hot it was.
I think I was working.
You would have known how hot it was. I had a full face of makeup, straightened my hair. I had so much on. I had this tight, puffy dress on. It was puffy and tight at the same time.
Damn.
Tight and puffy. It was a little bit too tight, but I was like, whatever, we're making it work. I had a fake tan on. I've never had a fake tan before. Shit. I had never gotten self-tan, spray tan, none of it. I had my first one because I was too pale in that dress.
Wow.
And how I know that is because when I put it on, Delina was like, you look really pale. And I was like, whatever, I don't care. I've never cared about being pale. Then I sent my sister a photo. First thing she says, you look really white.
Damn.
You look really white. And I was like, all right, are you guys in cahoots? They said no. They had not spoken to each other about this dress. So then I was like, all right, I got to get a tan. Like,
yeah, you don't want to blend in.
Yeah, and I don't want to like look at the photos and be like...
That was a joke for the rest of the crowd.
Oh. It went straight over my head. Great.
But yeah, you had to stand out.
I wanted to look... No, I just didn't want to look sickly. Do you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So I got a fake tan. I actually loved it. Now I'm addicted. Now I always want to get a fake tan. It looked so good. It looked really good. So I had like my hair's really long and thick, but I'd straightened it. I had gemstones in my hair and a tiara on my head. And I had a sash because I went as Miss Americana.
Extra.
So extra. I had fluffy pink high heels on, my favorite shoes, but they're high heels. My feet were hurting 2 seconds out the door.
Damn.
We go to the bus stop. It's already vibe. I had people, this is the first time I've ever been catcalled and enjoyed it.
Wow.
Girls were screaming at their car. They were like, whoa! And I was like, Eras tour. I swapped bracelets with somebody in their car. I was at the bus stop. They pulled up in traffic and they were like, let's swap bracelets. And I went over to the car and we were swapping bracelets out of the car. It was so cool. Peter, it was such a vibe. Nice. People were like beeping their horns at me. Everyone, it was so good. It was so much fun. If that was the world every day, I would be so happy.
Perfect society.
Perfect society.
For some.
Yes, for everyone. Anyway, it was okay. I was like, I can endure this heat if the vibes are this good. The bus was late. No biggie. We were getting there really early. We get on the bus. There is no aircon and it's packed. And I was like dripping sweat.
With other Swifties?
With other Swifties.
Yeah, right.
Which I thought would be fun. But then everybody's in a bad mood because it's so fucking hot. It was like a hot box in there. Like you could grow like flowers and shit. It was so hot in there. It was so hot. Anyway, I was like, it's fine. I was trying to stay positive because it's Selena's birthday. I don't want her to be upset. She's getting in a bad mood though because it was hot.
Damn.
She had 2 tops on, like a singlet with like a button up over the top. She took the button up off. It was hot.
Damn.
Finally, the aircon comes on halfway through. Mind you, we were the second last stop. So all those Swifties had been on that bus since Castle Hill. Jeez. It was hot. The aircon comes on, but there's so many people that it doesn't really do much. We get there. I'm like, let's just get rid of this bad mood. It was cooler outside than it was on the bus. I was like, let's just get rid of this bad mood. We are at Taylor Swift. Who cares? But I am uncomfortable. Like physically, I am uncomfortable, but it's fine. Then we're lining up for merch. The line is long, pisses down rain.
Yeah, I was going to ask, didn't it rain that day?
Do you know that I had feathers on my heels? They turned soggy.
Oh, sog.
Sog. The fluff went away. Anyway, I was like, I've ruined my favorite heels. Doesn't matter, I'm at Taylor Swift. I just kept thinking, doesn't matter, I'm at Taylor Swift. Doesn't matter, I'm at Taylor Swift. I had been defiant that day in not buying a poncho.
Nice.
No, not nice.
Oh.
Delina had bought one.
Oh.
She got mad at me because I didn't want one, and then we had to share one, and it was just a kerfuffle.
Oh, you mean like not...
A poncho, like a rain poncho?
Yeah, so not merch.
No.
Oh, okay.
So she was like, we were at the shops earlier in the day, and she was like, buy a poncho. I was like, nah, it's not going to rain. It'll be fine. She bought one. I did not, and I regretted it. She's a beautiful human, so she shared hers with me. So we're 2 people in one poncho. It was a mess. Damn. Anyway, we get to the front of the merch. Thankfully, they were selling ponchos, so I buy the merch. We didn't even really get to like pick out the merch because where we were when it wasn't raining, we couldn't see it. And it was pouring rain, we couldn't really see it, whatever. I don't even know if... I bought like this jumper. I think it's way too big. I haven't even tried it on yet because I'm so scared that it's going to look terrible. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I have Taylor merch. That's great. Nice. Doesn't matter. And then... Oh, God, it's just raining and it's hot and it's humid and it's a stadium tour, so it's outdoors. Yeah. Anyway, we eventually just get inside because we're like, we just need to hurry up. I didn't get any good photos in my outfit, which doesn't really matter, but it would have been nice because I went to so much effort.
Yeah, right.
And then they cancelled the support act. And I really wanted to see the support act.
Who was that?
Sabrina Carpenter. Yeah. I actually really like her music.
Yeah, gotcha.
They cancelled it because the rain postponed the concert so much, and Taylor always comes out at 8. And she does it because the sun sets as Lover plays and it's beautiful. Nice. They cancelled the support act. I'm like, doesn't matter. Oh my God. But before we even get to that, the Swifties were so fun. Yeah. I had a little girl come up to me and give me stickers that she bought, like Taylor Swift stickers that she had bought, and she gave them to me.
Nice.
It was so cute. I traded bracelets. Nice. Some people were asking to take their photo with me. I felt famous. Nice. They were like, can I have a photo with you? I was like, course. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it was so fun. It was such a vibe. I didn't have an ego about it at all. It was
the cult was there.
The cult was there and I was active in it and it was great. Anyway, I started to cheer up. I was like, look, it's fine. This is all working out for the best. We're going to see Taylor. She comes on. It was so good. We had really good seats. Nice. We were not on the floor. We were up a little bit, but we were like close to the stage. Yeah. So it was just, but you know what? There is no bad seat at a Taylor Swift concert.
Even if you get the shittest ones?
Even if you get the shittest ones. It's so good. Doesn't matter.
So how is the Eras tour as a
performance
piece?
I have never seen a pop star do this.
Okay.
She is an athlete. 3 hours of up and down that stage, dancing, singing, costume changes, choreography for 44 songs.
Yeah, wow.
She plays 44 songs.
Yeah. I even remember before she came to here, back before you had even gone to the States show.
Yeah.
I remember seeing the article of like she's performing 44 songs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's crazy.
Like,
you're lucky if you get 20 from someone.
Her vocal capability, it doesn't like dip.
Yeah,
she stays strong throughout the whole thing. She stays energetic. She stays excited. She stays active. Like, she's dancing right up until the last song.
Wow.
Not including all the costume changes.
And she's playing music as well.
And she's playing music and playing guitar and singing. It's just phenomenal. Like, I've never seen a pop star do this. She is one of a kind. There is...
Clearly.
And, like, she's just so good.
Yeah.
Her music, she plays such a range of, like, classic hits, meaningful songs. She does her surprise songs every night. Every night she has 2 to 3 different songs that she never plays.
Right.
I was happy with my surprise songs.
Nice.
We got a mashup with Sabrina Carpenter, which was really cool because we didn't get to see her.
Yeah.
They sang the song that I sung for my audition piece when I was 12 for my High School Musical.
Nice. Yeah.
It was White Horse from the Fearless album. I sang that when I was 12 when I auditioned for the musical.
Nice.
And so seeing it live, I was like, how cute. And she sang it with Sabrina Carpenter, which was really cool. But in saying that, every other night got Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah.
Didn't have boiling hot weather. Didn't have pouring rain. You know what I mean? I was
But
like,
you know what? The Swifties showed up.
yeah. But the other nights got really good surprise songs.
Damn.
Like maybe better than what I got.
Oh no.
Like they got songs that I was like, I would have killed someone to have heard that live.
Yeah, right.
Like, you know, I got good songs.
Would you have cried outside a stadium?
Yes. I know the video you're talking about, and I do not judge her. But for real, like she's got a lot of songs that have really got... I have her lyrics tattooed on my body.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like she's got some songs that have really got me through hard times.
Yeah.
And hearing that live, so the first time I ever saw it, so when I saw her, well, I've seen her 4 times now, but when I saw the Eras tour the first time, this sounds so dramatic and it's really going to sound like I'm in a cult.
Get ready.
I almost don't want to say it.
What?
It healed me. No, but like it did.
Yeah.
Like I remember, I didn't know what to expect. First of all, the fact that I was even there was mind blowing. I could not believe that I was there in Texas seeing her. It was just the best thing.
Wow.
That probably was one of the
And
best
that was
days
your
of my
first time going to the Eras tour as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So I'd seen a couple videos,
So-
but she was early on in her tour. Like
yeah.
I think it was like the 3rd or 4th city.
Right.
So she was early on. I didn't know what to expect. I've never cried at a Taylor Swift concert. I cried at the Eras tour.
Yeah. So how many have you been to again?
4. I've been to
Yeah.
1989, Reputation, and now 2 of the Eras.
Wow.
And it was like spiritual. I remember leaving it feeling like a part of me felt better. I was like, the part of me that was holding on to things that had traumatized me, hearing her play the songs that I used to listen to get me through that stuff
Yeah.
feels healed.
Yeah. And it's
was really
so
nice.
different, like, you know, because you can listen to music for so long, like, but then like just sometimes just like live, like with your own eyes, it's different.
And hearing her put her emotion into
Yeah.
it, like in the moment, I was like, I'm living this with her. It was so good.
Yeah.
So like the first time was so special for the Eras tour, so special. And the second time was a vibe. Like it was fun. I got to see it with my sister too. Like I went with Delina, but my sister and her partner. So the 4 of us together, like we all loved Taylor Swift. It was really fun. I still cried. Like I still cried this time around. But it was more like the anticipation. I was like, I know what to expect and I'm excited for it. Whereas the first time I was like, I'm just lucky to be here.
So were there still surprises? Yeah. Right.
Yeah. So last year I got 2 surprise songs that I was really happy for. And then this year I got 3 that I hadn't heard.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, how was the rest of the show outside of that though?
Bro, she's just phenomenal. I can't even speak about it.
Damn, what'd you walk out to? What's like what's the opener?
Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, one of my favorite songs.
I don't know it.
It's beautiful. And I dressed as Miss Americana this time.
What's the vibe?
It's like, okay, so she has a song. Oh, it's so good. It's like a mashup of all her album titles. So it's like, it's fearless
Yeah, right.
My name is Taylor and I was born in 1989. And then it's like folklore. And it's like all the out. So you're waiting for her to come out and that's playing.
Right.
I get goosebumps every time I hear it. Like I want that played at my funeral. Like it's so good. And you're waiting and you can hear her like all the album titles being sung. And then it's just like kind of like a mashup.
Yeah.
And then it keeps saying like, it's been a long time coming, because that's the lyric from the song that she comes out to. So it's like, it's been a long time coming. And then you hear it and she steps out.
Yeah.
And it goes, it's been a long time coming, but... And then she sings that song. And it's
yeah.
just so good.
Damn. What's the crowd like when she comes out, bro?
It's wild.
Yeah.
I
can
have
imagine.
never heard a crowd like this.
Jeez.
Like in Houston and in Sydney.
Wow.
No other concert can top the Eras tour.
Well, quite statistically, none has.
And none probably will.
It's surpassed any tour that Michael Jackson has.
Take
done.
that, Cameron.
Yeah, and I mean, well, that's the thing. The Eras tour, no matter how you do feel about Taylor Swift, fortunately for someone.
How dare you? How dare you?
Well, it has gone down in history as the biggest tour to have ever existed in human history.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It just feels like a celebration when you're there.
Yeah.
Like what other concert feels like that?
A celebration of what, though? Because I actually don't understand. And many people...
Really?
No, because I'm not in it. And most people are. A lot of people aren't.
God.
I'm,
It's like...
So I speak on behalf of all
It's
of
a
the non-Swifties.
You know what it is?
What?
It's a celebration of girlhood.
Okay.
Of what it is to be a woman in the world that we live in, for friendships and heartbreak and success and finding your joy, and also like going through the shit times.
Right.
And also, she's not just a pop star. She is a poet. She is one of the greatest poets of our time. I would say her poetry is stronger than Shakespeare.
I
That might
don't
get
know
me,
about that one.
that might get me fired from like future gigs. Bell Shakespeare.
Well,
like
Bell
when-
Shakespeare Theatre Company. What piece have you prepared today?
Oh God, they're never gonna hire me.
Look what you...
Sorry to Bell Shakespeare. No, I love Shakespeare. You know, I did this thing with my dad when I was up. I think it was over Christmas or when I went in February. But I read out, I like Googled it, and you read out a Taylor Swift lyric or a Shakespeare, whatever.
What? Yeah.
And
Or
you
whatever.
say to them, which, like, is this Shakespeare or Taylor Swift? Nobody can tell. My dad would be like, that's Shakespeare. And it was Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you're going to have to definitely try that on me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I promise you'll be hearing Taylor Swift lyrics thinking it's Shakespeare. It's so well written.
And what do you say to like those who kind of just say like she's like a basic white woman?
Triggered.
No, but like that's what like kind of a common criticism is of
I
Taylor.
think that's like a really lazy thing to say.
Right.
Because you don't know her work.
Right.
And if you're saying that, you're reducing so much of her talent and success and all the things she's had to overcome down to that.
Right.
Like, I would never say that about an artist ever, even if they were that.
That is a common thing that I hear. That's the only reason. That's not what I'm saying.
And to me, that's really close-minded. And it just shows that you are misogynistic because you won't look further into her career and her work and her craft. And you'll just minimize a woman's talent to that.
Okay.
And I think it's a poor attitude,
Okay.
you know? That's what I would say.
Interesting.
And I would say, you're stupid and you're wrong.
Right. All right. I don't know if that's just me or if I'm hearing some static. Did you hear that?
No.
Okay, it's all good. Well, yeah. Well, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Just because because I know I speak because I'm somewhere. I'm not a Swiftie by any means, but I'm always able to look at anything and like look at it from an objective point of view, take my kind of personal feelings out of it, and like kind of have a look towards any piece of music or artist and just be like, okay, so like what's actually going on here? So being able to kind of hear, because I'm surrounded by people. You're the biggest Swiftie I know. I'm sure there's I know there's a lot of them out there apparently for them to
Apparently.
for this to be the biggest tour ever.
I think I'm the biggest one, to be honest.
Yeah, so don't worry. A lot of people,
What?
a lot of people would say that though.
Yeah.
What do you say to that? Actually,
Sorry?
what do you say to that? To the bigger
Look,
Taylor Swift
I
fans
don't have
than you?
enough money to prove that I'm the biggest Taylor Swift fan.
Right.
There are people out there who have so much money and they can buy all her merch,
Yeah,
all her
Yeah.
million variants of a record. Like she does a lot of variants of a record. I can recognize that. I can't afford to buy them all. I got things to pay for.
Yeah.
And people will be like, oh, well, you're not the biggest Taylor Swift fan because you don't have this, this, and this. And I'm like, whatever. I've been around her music since I was 12. I've been around since her first album. Let's say that.
Yeah.
Not all her fans can say that.
Yeah, right.
I have a very long history.
That must be so satisfying to see the evolution.
So satisfying.
Yeah.
Bro, I've seen her grow into a woman as I have grown into a woman.
Dang.
Do you know how beautiful that is? That's amazing.
Nice.
I've lived her heartbreaks with her while going through my own heartbreaks.
Yeah, well.
You know? Like, there's something really special about that. And it might not make me the biggest Swiftie, but it makes me one of the longest ones.
Yeah. So I definitely don't consider myself a Swiftie. There's definitely... Like, again, like there's things that like I can appreciate even though I'm not like directly in it though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
like,
course.
Do you know? So she was named Time Person of the Year last year.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I was a bit like, oh, what the fuck? That sort of thing. That was my honest reaction. But then I actually looked into why. And the Eras tour was actually good for the economy.
Yes.
Last year.
Yeah.
And
do you know how many cities boosted economy because of hotel and restaurants
and small businesses?
Travel,
Yeah. That's crazy to me, but it makes sense.
Do you know that at every city she goes to, she donates money that she doesn't publicize, nobody knows about, donates money to food banks in every city?
Yeah, well.
Oh, and I'm not just talking about like money. I'm talking like a significant portion of funding she's providing to food banks and charities in each city.
Wow.
Like what other celebrity does that? She gives back.
It's true.
She gives back to the cities that she goes to. We don't tip in Sydney, like when we go to a restaurant. She went to a restaurant in Surrey Hills and tipped them
I saw
$300.
Yeah,
just $300. And like, that's nothing to her. $300 is nothing to Taylor Swift. But that is something to the person who received it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I actually heard that. I think I was coming back from Bathurst. And I heard like on like the kind of the car ride back, it was like, oh, you know, Taylor Swift was literally here just like a couple hours ago. And like, just that thought of like, whoa, that's pretty like.
She was in the West.
Yeah.
I was like, she's 20 minutes from me, bro.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
So weird to think that she left the city. She saw like the grossness of like the suburbs of Sydney.
Well, apparently she rates Sydney.
She loved the zoo.
Oh, you know, while she was here, I was just seeing non-stop reels, and I'm like, I'm not sharing, I'm not doing nothing but like non-stop reels on my timeline. Just Taylor Swift. I'm like, I'm not even a Taylor Swift fan.
And it
like,
got to your feed.
Bro. That's how big she is. She's managed to kind of infiltrate all of it. She's up there with probably like, because I'm thinking about like, who is more famous than Taylor Swift at the moment?
I don't think anyone.
It's crazy.
I don't think there's anyone that is as big as Taylor.
But that is why there are some people who are asking why.
That's fine. But when they ask with like prejudice, I'm like, go away.
Yeah, fair.
You know what I mean? If they're like, oh, why is Taylor Swift so successful? Why is she personally? Go away. Go research it, dumbass. Like, if you're going to come at me, do you know what I mean? But like, I don't want to hear it. And also like, let people enjoy the things they enjoy.
Yeah.
Why can't women enjoy something? And her audience is predominantly women. And I say this because a lot of women get belittled for the things that they like. When a man likes it, oh, that's great. It's certified. It's worthy. But when a woman likes it, it's trivial.
Yeah, gotcha.
It's so fucking annoying. I can speak on so many things that are like that. Taylor Swift is one of them. Damn. People think that because women love Taylor Swift, that she's shit and she's trash. But if majority of her audience were men, do you know how successful and worthy she would be?
Yeah.
Because men like her? Yeah. Oh, get out of my face.
Would you like Taylor Swift if she was a 50-year-old man? Like a 50-year-old white man?
It's an interesting question because I don't know. A lot of her work is rooted in femininity.
Yeah.
You know? And I like that.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
It just makes me think.
You know what? I'm going to say yes because I like Shakespeare.
Nice.
And he's an old white guy.
Yeah.
So if I can like his work, why can't I like a man that would do Taylor's? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if I like, I'm going to say that I would.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because it has so much meaning to it. It's not just the like pretty stuff. You know? I had to think about that.
That was a trap and you passed. No, well, I'm glad to hear it. Yeah,
Thank you.
I'm definitely not in the cult, but I'm also not.
Not yet.
Well, we'll discuss about that later. When
we
you
haven't
eventually
decided what our recommendations are for this episode.
Well, we'll see what you're going to give me, and then we'll hear what my proper thoughts on Taylor Swift are from where I come from.
I'm so excited.
But anyway,
let's talk about yours.
Yes. All right.
So, tell me everything. It's been a year.
It's been a year, bro.
Since the best day of your life.
Damn.
How sad does that
See,
make
I don't.
you?
Well, look, I walked away from. So I went to Snoop Dogg last year, and he hadn't been to Sydney since 2014.
Crazy. Well,
that was
similar
around
to Taylor. She hadn't been to Sydney since 2018.
Yeah, no,
a long time.
2014
Well,
though.
yeah,
I was
9
in. I was in year 8. Like, and that's when that was like around the time I first started listening to him.
Jeez, you were a baby.
Yeah. So like, you know, before then, I mean, I could talk about my love for Snoop for hours.
Same.
So I won't like get into the whole like how I became this and how I became that, but I will skip to the day. Well, no, the lead up to the concert itself. So like, you know, he announces 2 years prior. He actually announced it in COVID 2021.
The concert?
Yeah. So it wasn't until 2 years later.
Damn.
Yeah. And so he was meant to come in 2022. But the thing is, I remember at the time, because he was meant to come in October, I was going through like a really rough patch in life in like 2022.
Yeah.
When he delayed his concert, I was actually like, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I actually can't do that right now. I'm sorry.
You don't want to be going through a hard time.
Yeah,
and
you
a
know
good
what I
thing,
mean?
Like, you want to be able to enjoy it to its full extent.
Exactly.
Like, you don't want to be like, oh, now I've got to go home to my shit life because that was the best night. Do you know what I mean?
So the reason
Not saying that you had a shit life.
No, it was at the time for sure.
It was a hard time for
Yeah.
you.
So I didn't really. What I love about this whole concert experience, because I've been to over 20 now, over 20.
Mm-hmm.
Last year I went to like 10. That was like something. I don't know. Anyway, I've been to like well over 25 now, actually, now that I think about it. But this concert, I don't even know where to start. Basically, what I love about it and the reason why I say it's my favorite day is not just because of like the very act of like, seeing Snoop live, who's my favorite, but it was like the universe was on my side for like every step of the way. Yeah. Even the fact that it got delayed. Like everything just like went so like, I'm very fortunate in comparison to you because you didn't have like such a smooth ride into it.
What do you mean?
For the Sydney Eras tour, you know, like it was raining and it was hot and this and that. Rah, rah, rah. I was like the complete opposite. Like everything was in my favor. In my favor.
The stars aligned.
Literally. And if there was any day for them to align for, that was the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I would have fucking hated it if it was shit or if
Yeah.
it didn't live up to what it could have been. I had immeasurably high expectations. And
That's hard, isn't it? When you have that
because it's my
much.
favorite artist.
If
you know what I mean?
met Taylor or Brittany and it wasn't what I wanted or expected, how much would that hurt?
Yeah. So the thing
Bro.
is like, I didn't even know. So this is the first time I'm talking about it publicly. So I actually didn't even know I was meeting him until the day before.
That's crazy.
The concert was big enough. The concert, I was already like losing my shit. I'm going to be fucking front row at Snoop.
Yeah.
Rah, rah, rah. And like, I remember when Snoop season started, I got the reminder like on my calendar, oh no, Snoop's in 3 weeks. And then
Yeah.
I literally said to my Insta, I was like, be prepared for nothing but Snoop content for the next like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
and I
literally.
was posting. I binged his entire discography.
How fun is that though before the concert?
Yeah,
I did the
yeah.
same thing with Taylor.
Yeah.
And I was like revisiting an album that maybe I hadn't listened to for like 3 months or something, or maybe even longer.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I love this album.
If you have the
Like,
time for it, you should definitely do it because it's always worth it. Because it's
Yeah.
almost a sense of like you're starting from their beginning
Yeah.
and you're leading into where they are today in front of you.
It's really wholesome.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just my favorite way to listen to music anyway. Like I always, whenever I listen to any artist, I go through their whole discography. So like I was doing it for Snoop and I was posting a review for every single one of his albums. I was posting on my story. It was a really big hype. I was like planning my fit like weeks in advance. I actually wore this shirt as well. Like you've probably all seen the Insta post by now. But like, yeah, I was wearing
Surely.
this and I was wearing this back in 2016
wow.
Yeah.
Long time.
because it's for a specific album that came
Right.
out and you know I just like ordered this online. I was like I gotta wear this, you know what I mean? Because this album was the first album that I was ever anticipated for. Like this was the first album I was ever excited to drop.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was back in those days. I was like commenting on because he would do live streams of like recording sessions.
Stop, that's so
I was spamming the comments and he liked a couple of my comments and then I would post it all over Facebook. Like that's where I've come from.
He acknowledged your existence.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah.
So fast forward and like That's the thing. I didn't even know I was going to meet him. It was a super big deal. Lead up. He was touring, and then it was like, oh, Sydney was one of his last stops as well. Like he did Perth first. So
Wow.
yeah.
Weird.
I mean, maybe it makes sense geographically, or maybe just from wherever it was coming from. I don't know. But he was flying in. He was going around I remember when he was in the country, I was like, he's here, like that sort of thing. And like, bro, like in the lead up to the concert, I remember. So quick story. Basically, in the lead up to the concert, I think we were in class, and I saw this random email. And
you know what's weird? I wasn't there that day.
No. So this is a different day. So this is so the concert was on a Thursday. This is on the Monday. So
I wasn't there on the Monday.
You were just sick for the whole week?
I don't know.
I remember. So I think I don't.
I wasn't there for that day.
You weren't there for the day before. I know that much.
Yeah.
But this is on the top of the week, right? Top of the week. I get an email and I see like, oh, Snoop's going to be at Culture Kings on the day of the concert. And he's like, and then I looked into it and it was really weird. It was like he was popping up at a store, which is like pretty cringy, to be honest. Like it has a very like cringe fan base. You know what I mean? And it was like, you weren't even guaranteed to meet him. You were going to get you had to buy $100 worth of merch to get a token.
From Culture Kings.
Yeah. You had to buy $100 worth of merch to get a token to even
go in the draw or something.
Go into the draw to see him. And then you see him, it would probably be for like what? Like
5 seconds.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Like you get a photo and then next.
And it was on the day of the concert as well, which was a bit of a trip because I was looking into it and I was like, oh, like I'd have to be here and then I'd have to go there.
Yeah.
And like it was like this weird thing. And it was a really big debate of like, bro, but like it's a chance to see him live. And I was like, I was debating it with a couple people in the ensemble. I was like, fuck, like, should I do this? And like, I'm not even guaranteed to see him. And is this really how I want to see him? Like, you know, in that kind of environment. And then I was
it
like,
just seems really like money.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Buy all this stuff and you might get to meet him.
Exactly.
Like,
and it's like, I was like, and even if I were to meet him, was that the first way?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm too fucking big of a fan.
Yes.
Too big of a fan to be bunched in with that crowd.
Yeah.
So it was a proper debate. And eventually I reached the conclusion. I was like, no, I'm not going to like do it. I would rather my first time seeing him live in the flesh would be in the concert.
Yeah.
And I made that decision.
That's a good decision.
And it was a proper dilemma at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. No, I'm going to see him like...
I think I would have made the same call if it was like the equivalent for Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Like, I'm not going to... Like, I could be there getting the best spot.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't do that at Taylor Swift because everything's seated.
Yeah.
But for Snoop that you could.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would be giving up that for this. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it. So it hurt, but I was like, nah, I'm not, fuck it. No. So I made peace with it. And then the day before the concert comes, I'm excited. I'm fucking excited. I remember annoying everyone at school about it. You know what I mean? Like I was like dressing in a different Snoop shirt every day. I brought all my CDs with me. Like I got like 30 fucking Snoop CDs.
Wow.
Yeah. I was hyped. And I remember in class, it was the end of the day, I was going through my phone looking for the concert tickets, and I was just typing in Snoop in my Gmail or whatever. And this email sent to me a month ago completely passed me by. And I was like, where was this? What the hell? And I look into it and it's like, for the ultimate Snoop Dogg fan, exclusive meet and greet.
Oh my God.
Where he gives you a death row chain. And I was like, for the ultimate Snoop Dogg fan.
That's me.
That's me. And I was like looking at it. I was like, is this even real? Like, what the fuck?
So
and I was
funny.
sussing it out and I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? And then like,
I don't know how you missed that.
it was a large sum of money. I won't disclose, but it was a large sum of money, right?
I know.
Yeah, it was a large sum of money, and I look at it and I was like, but that it didn't even really faze me. I just noticed it. I was like, okay, this is how much, right, sort of thing. But then I was like, what do I do? And I gave it to our friend Cameron, who I passed it to him, and I was telling he was with me in this whole like Culture Kings dilemma sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he was telling me, no, you shouldn't do it. I passed him this. He looked at it and he's like, you have to.
Yeah.
And then he's like, can you even? Like money wise?
Yeah, logistically.
And then I was like, can I?
I can.
And then I literally left class, pulled out my laptop, looked at my fucking banking, and I saw that I had it. And then I was like, I have it. Like
The funds have been secured.
At that point,
Yeah.
it was like, I don't give a fuck.
No.
And like,
How could you?
by this point, everyone in class started to like get word that I was about to drop this amount of money on meeting Snoop.
See, this is the day that I wasn't
no, you
there.
weren't there.
Yeah.
And everyone was complaining. Everyone was like, oh, I can't believe you would do that. Like, oh, I'm like spending this money. Oh, I can't believe that. And meanwhile, I'm getting my card out. I'm like typing it in and shit. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, what the hell? The thing is, what's so funny about it is how I even secured those funds. So in COVID,
Oh, no.
2020, I don't give a fuck. In COVID, 2020, I was like in a housing situation and I was trying to get on Centrelink and it was a fucking hassle and it was a month-long dilemma.
It do be like that.
It was terrible. It was one of the most tumultuous time periods of my entire life. It was awful. And you know, it was, that's another episode. But basically, when I finally got on, I got a massive back payment.
How good is that?
Massive back payment of like 6K. And then
Shit.
I put 5K away and it was just sitting there for a rainy day all these years. It wasn't 5K, but it was sitting there for all these years. When this came up, the rainy day, I was like, and that's the thing. It's like I didn't even pay for it. The citizens, the taxpayers.
The world wanted you to meet Snoop.
I finessed Australia to meet Snoop. That's how I look at it.
That's so funny.
So I don't give a fuck. Yeah, fucking oath.
Bro, if I could, like Taylor Swift doesn't do meet and greets anymore.
Yeah.
But if I could,
Oh, there was a time period where she did.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And I really couldn't afford it back then.
Yeah,
I
wow.
was at uni, like it just wasn't a thing that I
Shit.
could afford. But if I could, oh my God, I would have.
Yeah.
Why would you not? If it's your one artist.
exactly.
Like,
Exactly. And that's what I said. So everyone's like yapping away, right?
No, you have to.
Class ended. Everyone was like, like debating amongst themselves. I literally, I shut my laptop lid and then I just like announced to the class. I'm like, guys, like
I'm doing it.
this is like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do this for anyone.
No.
Like this is my third dad.
Oh.
I haven't even met my second.
But you've met your third and you've met Snoop.
So I'm adopted.
Wait, you need to say what Snoop said to you.
Yeah. Anyway, but anyway, I just did a massive spiel to the class and then I left. And everyone was like, yeah, like, fair.
Yeah.
And then like, bro, like I met up with some friends who were all going to the concert that night, like friends that like my closest friends, right? They're all going night before the concert. We all meet up. They're like literally in a suburb over from the stadium. So we're nearby.
good.
We're like, you know, we're having like a vibey party night. We're playing Snoop tracks nonstop. Like it was like Snoop Eve. You know what I mean?
I love that.
The day of the concert, like I wake up, shower, get ready, that sort of thing, get dressed, take photos and shit. And then I'm like, oh, I'll see you guys after the show sort of thing. And I leave. And then I like get to the show. I am the first person there. I thought I was running late. I thought I was running late. I was the first person
That's
there.
so funny.
I have always known. I've always said this for as long as I've been a Snoop fan. I've always said, I'm the biggest Snoop fan in Australia. I knew not the world because there's probably a bunch of people in LA and shit. But I knew in Australia,
Yeah.
I was the biggest. And the concert was confirmation because all the people that rocked up for VIP knew it was a big deal for me.
That's
like
they knew that it was your big day.
They knew for a fuck, and like that was what was so good about the concert. Like all the Snoop shit aside, like it was so funny because Harry Styles was playing.
Was he?
Yeah. Same weekend was playing.
Well, you know what's funny as well for Taylor? Blink was next door,
Blink
which I
played.
saw the week before. So one weekend I was at
Isn't
Blink.
it crazy they were here for 2 weeks in a row?
2 weekends.
2 weeks. That's
Bro.
crazy. I was surprised at that. I was like,
Mark.
what, they here last week?
Mark from Blink
Yeah.
went to the Taylor Swift concert before his own concert. He like dropped by to watch a bit of the set
so
and
cool.
then went over.
It's
to
cool
do
that he
his-
was able to get in like that.
Yeah, he met her. He got
Yeah,
photos
wow,
with her,
wow.
which I was like, I know you guys are Blink, but
Damn.
that's Taylor.
Quick side note, you know who I was thinking about who would have to open for Taylor Swift to convince me to go to Taylor Swift?
That's a really good question.
I thought about it and I came
Oh,
up
you
with
have
the
an
best-
answer?
Yeah, I have an answer.
Who?
Flavor Flav.
And you know what?
He's a
He
Swiftie.
is the biggest Swiftie.
He's the biggest Swiftie.
He's gone to multiple eras to her.
He's got the friendship bracelets.
He
and shit.
be
He's-
loving
He's gifted
Taylor.
her a what? Like the clock.
I can't believe they have a photo together, don't
Yeah,
they?
they do.
That's mind blowing because do you know that most Swifties would have no idea who Flavor Flav
Yeah, I
is?
know.
I can't believe I knew him before you like really got onto Flavor of Love.
Yeah.
I knew who Flavor Flav was.
I knew who he was for his music, but then before, anyway, Flavor Flav.
How did I know Flavor Flav before you?
You would have watched Flavor of Love before
Is that
me.
what it was?
You watched Flavor of Love before me, but I always knew Public Enemy. Which is
You see, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So,
Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav. If he opened, I would be there.
Yeah. That would be the weirdest, most chaotic.
That would be the best, though.
I don't know what it would be.
It would be, you know what?
It would be fun.
It'd be eye-opening to the Swifties.
It would be eye-opening to the Swifties. Swifties would be like, what's with the clocks?
These people exist. Open your eyes.
Oh my God.
But anyway, back to Snoop. Like, look, it was so funny because like, it was so funny watching everyone rock up for Harry Styles, like all the teenage girls and shit. And then you had like, it was so clear.
It's the same with Taylor.
Who was rocking, like you had all the emo people
Yeah.
and shit. And then you had
Like
all
the middle-aged emo kids who have grown up. And then all
Wearing
the
black and shit.
and then all the Swifties.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was both. The week
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
I was like, I was one of you guys last week. Now today I'm the Swiftie.
Yeah, literally this week it was like the same thing of like, it was like all the like you had like all the teenage girls and shit that were rocking, and then you had like all these like tattooed like bandana wearing motherfuckers like rocking up for Snoop, and like these are my people sort of thing.
That's so
I
funny.
made so many friends that day.
Yeah,
so
I love
many
that.
friends, so many fucking friends. It was so lit.
Isn't it good when you go to a concert and the fan base is nice?
Yeah,
Because I've been to so many concerts where it's been shit.
there's concerts I won't go to because I know
Bro,
what the fan base is like.
When I saw Billie Eilish,
Yeah.
why was everyone a bitch?
Yeah,
Why was
damn.
everyone a bitch?
Take
There
that,
was-
Billy fans.
But I love Billie, and she doesn't
Yeah.
spread that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Like, she's not like that. So I don't know why her fans are so mean.
I remember the first time I went to Kendrick Lamar. The first time
Really?
I went to because I was seated, my area was just fucking annoying.
Really?
Fucking annoying. The second time I went
It
Kendrick was
ruins
better.
it. It
Second time I
ruins
went
it,
Kendrick-
though.
Yeah, it did. It knocked it down for sure.
Yeah, it knocked down Billie. I was like, she did so good, but everyone around me was just an asshole.
Damn.
Bro, we were Delina and I were trying to get out of the mosh because we were like, okay, it's getting too rough in here for a pop concert. The mosh got too rough. We were trying to get out. This guy wouldn't let us past him.
Damn.
I was like, we're trying to leave. We're not trying to get in front.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, if you can't handle the mosh, you should get out. I was like, we're trying to get out. We're trying.
That's awful.
And this isn't a mosh. This is a Billie Eilish concert. Why is there a mosh pit? Like, can you relax? Also,
weird.
stop trying to act so hard.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care for
At
it.
a Billie Eilish
At
concert.
a Billie, like, grow up, bro.
Weird.
So weird.
Weird.
I don't know why people get like that,
Yeah.
you know?
So anyway.
Go on, sorry, with Snoop.
No, well, listen, I'm sure we've gone overboard as far as time goes.
We have
but
a little
It's
bit.
a big episode. But basically, the concert, so I walk in and then I tell them like, hey, look, I meant to be meeting Snoop. They're like, yep, come right here. Here's
my
like a specific
God.
bracelet, like a fucking
Wristband.
paper. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like to me, they're like, oh, just like at 8 o'clock, like wave your hand up. Just wave your hand up. And
It's a very official way.
Our seckies will come get you. And like, I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, and at that point, Cameron arrived at some point, and he was the best. Like, he was the best. Like, he, because I had all my CDs with me. Like, I had them in like a bag.
What?
Just to show Snoop, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't expecting him to sign any of them. Like, I was.
Did he?
No, well, I wasn't allowed to bring him into the concert because they were like considered a weapon, apparently.
Huh?
Yeah, apparently a CD's a weapon. Apparently you can do that, like throw it. That's what they said to me.
Radio.
Well, Cameron just came and then because he drove, he was able to just like fucking.
Oh, good. He could put it in his car.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't have to lose my spot, and he came with food, and then we like held each other's spot while we were like checked out the merch, and
Yeah.
held each other's spot when we went to the toilet. So like it was just like him being there, like just made the day so fucking easy.
Yeah.
He was the best person to share the experience too. I was meant to go with my ex, but like he was like the best sub.
Yeah. I agree. I think I couldn't
the
think
best
of
sub.
yeah.
The best sub. I couldn't think of any other person that I know to share that experience with me.
I agree.
And Cam was like fucking just perfect, and he loves Snoop as well.
Yeah, he likes Snoop too, so it worked out.
It was so good. So basically, yeah. So 8 o'clock comes. I hold up my wrists, and they take me out, and they take me just like into like this side room, just like it's so like low key, like people just walking past and have no idea, sort of thing. So I walk in there, and there's like 20 other people there.
Wow.
Just 20. And it was funny because it was cool because like I got to see that you had like a lot of oldies there.
Yeah.
A lot of oldies. you had like this like Mexican cholo, like motherfucker. It was cool. I like saw him at the 50 Cent concert like later in the year. Yeah.
What are the chances?
Yeah. same music, I guess. Yeah. So like so he was there. It was funny because you had like this he had this mum who was like half my height, and then like a 9-year-old who was the same height as her, and there was the two of them. And he was going on like, he's like, oh, I'm so excited to meet Snoop, like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't even be mad at it. I was like, you go, like that sort of thing. He was telling me, he's like, oh, when Snoop gives me the death row chain, I'm gonna put it on my WWE like a wrestling figure. I was like, you do that. Like you do
Get
that.
out of my face.
But we're all nervous, like nervous, excited.
How could you not be nervous?
Yeah. And it was so funny because like we were all talking, and then like all at once we were all hit with like a wave of like, you could smell Kush. Like you could smell you
smelt his presence.
He was nearby. And everyone was like he's here sort of thing. Anyway, so the Secchies like, you know, give us like a rundown of like how it's going to run, like everyone line up, everyone sanitize, blah, blah, blah. So like we're all waiting, and then just like that, like he walks through just like in front of all of us.
That would have been so cool.
It was like just, you know what I mean? And he had 2 Secchies that were like, he's a tall guy. These guys made him look short.
Wow.
Yeah. Like they were massive. Like they were like 7 foot. Like they were crazy big. Like he was small compared to them. And that was like, but we all, he just like walks in front, does his thing, and then he like goes like in the other room. We all line up, and I'm fucking shitting bricks, sort of thing. And you know, beforehand. So I'll say this, right? So I was like to the guy behind me, I was like, "You want to go in front?" Like that. Sort
he was
of thing.
nervous.
Yeah, I was like, "Fuck, man!" Like that sort of thing. And I already knew what I was going to say. Yeah. So what's so funny about it? So because I had spent such a large amount of money on it, Cameron convinced me that I should record the interaction.
That is so smart, because I never would have thought of that.
And I was thinking, I was skeptical about it at first, but I was like, you know what, like I'm spending this much amount of money on it. You know what I mean? I should, right? And thank God that I did, because how it went in my head versus how it actually happened were 2 very different things. So I'm in line, and then like it's about to be my turn, and like it was so weird because it was just like, it was in the lead up to him, like there was just so many people around me, like, oh, like then give me this phone. I got 2 phones. Like, oh, give me this phone to like take the photo, and this person, other people like complimenting my shirt and shit, and like there's just all this thing, and then before I know it, he's just there, like in front of me, and he's like looking down at me. I'm looking up at him, and I'm just looking at him, and like this is my first like face to face. Like every time I had seen him before this point, it was like through a screen, sort of thing. So it's like, I was looking at him just like who he is as a person, and it was like crazy. So it's because he's Snoop Dogg and all that, but like if I were to give him like an animal, he's like a serpent.
Oh.
Yeah. Like he reminds, for those who know, you know, the God of War game, there's like the world stake sort of thing. Like he was just like this, like, what's the word? Not magnificent.
Majestic.
That's the word. Exactly right. Just like he was like, he's staying completely still, but he's like so animated. Like just like he's like so smooth, but it was like, I was looking at that like I've never seen a human being like that.
Wow.
Like it was like what like that sort of
what
thing.
a present.
He was just like I swear for dead ass for like 10 seconds I didn't even say anything. I was just like looking like what the hell, like crazy. And then it like kicked in, and then like in my head, like it wasn't this bad in the recording, but in my head,
oh, it's bad.
I wouldn't shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like,
bro, when I met Ian Duell last year, which is an artist that I love, nowhere near the iconic status of Snoop or Taylor or anyone. Like he's pretty low key. It was at like the Metro in the city. But I met him. Bro, I don't know what I said. I'm embarrassed. I rambled. I said things that I said to myself, okay, don't say that. And then I said that. Like you just word vomit because you're so excited.
So I made it a specific point to myself
that
I was not going to go there and like waste this opportunity to be like, I'm your biggest fan. I didn't even say that.
Yeah.
Because I already know it. I don't need to say it.
Yeah.
So this is what I said, right? So I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this sort of thing. And then he's just like, he says something. I don't even hear what he said. That's how crazy it is. So I didn't even hear what he said, but we take the photo and then I get to turn to him and I get to actually have a chat with him, right?
Yeah.
And I say this to him. So being a Snoop fan, this is what it's like. So like, I'm sure like as a Taylor Swift fan, like you have those things that like you deal with like as far as like naysayers go.
Yeah,
you know,
of
like
course.
what
We
I brought
just
up.
talked about
What I
it,
brought up earlier, right? Like you have to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what the Snoop equivalent is?
What is it?
As far as the hip hop community goes. So you know how I gave you Doggy Style?
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you have a large segment of people who aren't even aware, constantly complain that that's his only good album.
Oh, but he's got 20.
He's got 20. And
silly.
You run unless you're like in the Snoop fan base, and like, you know, sometimes it's a bit hard because a lot of Snoop fans are very casual.
What? I understand what
You
you're
know what I
saying
mean?
because the equivalent for that is people saying Taylor only writes about her ex-boyfriends, and I'm like, shut the. You don't even know.
Yeah, right.
I could make you a whole playlist full of songs that aren't about men,
Right.
or about boys, or about heartbreak.
Yeah.
Like not about romantic heartbreak. I can make you. There would be albums worth of songs that are not about those things. So I feel you, bro.
Isn't that
like,
crazy? Like, yeah. So you would immediately understand like that kind of frustration.
It's so
'Cause it's like,
frustrating.
It's not even true.
And like you don't even know what you're talking
Exactly.
about, and you're proving your lack of knowledge
Yeah,
about
exactly.
the topic. So why are you talking to me about it?
Like Snoop has fucking experimented in like multiple genres
Same
and
with Taylor,
like, you
same
know
with
what I mean?
Taylor.
And like just gone like
and succeeded in those genres.
Exactly.
Like,
and like he's like, there's been eras of rap that he's succeeded in. He's been able to adapt and not, you know, and like,
and constantly
how
evolve.
would he have a career otherwise? You know what I mean?
How would he have the fan base that he has otherwise?
He's got 8 #1 albums. Like what? They're all only one of them's bad. You know what? Only one of them's good.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean?
so
It's just such a
stupid.
dumb criticism that you hear all the fucking time as a Snoop fan.
Yeah.
So I went to him and I was like, bro, I just want to let you know that I love your whole discography. Your whole discography.
That's so
From here to
good.
here. And look at the shirt I'm wearing. I'm not even wearing a fucking Doggy Style shirt. Like
No.
they were complimenting that shit. They were like, they noticed that. Like, where'd you get this from, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So I told him that. Like, I love your whole discography. And then he's like, I appreciate that, brother. Like that sort of shit. And like I got to like hey so shit. And like I was like, that was so lit. And then like they were tugging at my shirt for me to leave. And then I was like, all right. And then like I like turned to leave. And that to me, that was enough.
Yeah.
I turn to leave and he says one last thing. And I turn and I look at him and I can just see that he's speaking at me, but I can't even hear what he's saying.
Yeah.
But like he just calls out after me and he says it. And I'm like, I at that point, I'm just like, I love you, Stu. Like at that point. And then and he gives me the fucking death row chain on top of that. You know what I mean? I'm going to die being buried in that. I wore it to graduation.
I remember.
I remember I got it. I was like, I'm wearing
It
this.
suited your outfit though. It looks good with your outfit.
Fucking oath. So like, you know, for me to walk, so I walked away with that. I was just like in a state of shock. I get hand delivered back to where Cameron was in the front of the mosque.
So good, you didn't lose your spot.
I get hand delivered. Like people are like getting angry at me as I'm walking through back with my death row chain.
Yeah.
And people are like, "Whoa, what the fuck? What are you doing?" And the Sekis are like, "No, he's like they
This is
just,
where he was.
They pushed me through."
Yeah.
And it was so funny because everyone around me knew that's where I was going, and I come back with the death row chain, and everyone was like, "Ah!" Like they're all celebrating me and shit.
So
They're like
good.
taking photos and shit. And then the concert just proceeds to be, it just surpasses my fucking expectation. It's the whole night, because I always feel like Snoop's underappreciated as a musician. Like everyone loves him as like a celebrity, but as a
Yeah.
musician, he is so underrated.
Yeah.
I stand by that. Like fucking like and you know what? The night was just like a celebration of fucking Snoop.
That's what I said about Taylor. It feels like a celebration.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, and that's the thing. He comes out, the concert is better than I imagined. Like, it's so much better. Like, he fucking, like, he brings the energy. He had, like, 4 strippers, like, there was, like, 4 poles set up. They were all going. There was, like, this guy in, like, a monkey costume that's, like, part of his mascot of, like,
Right.
one of his recent albums.
Right.
That's, like, dancing around. Like, the whole thing was a vibe. The
That's
whole thing
so
was a
fun.
vibe. He doesn't perform 44 songs, but he performs, like, 30
That's a lot.
No, like, yeah, like about 30 songs, which is like, from a concert, you expect it 20. You know what I mean? Those are part 1 and part 2 to his show. He took a smoke break halfway through. That was lit. And like, he performs the first couple of songs and it's amazing and that sort of thing. And then there's like 5 songs into the show. I'll just say these quick 2 tidbits right before, because I know it's going a bit over.
Yeah, this is a long episode.
That's all right. I don't give a fuck. I never give a fuck. But anyway, so he performs first couple songs. It's great. And then he performs this random song that no one like would know. Like I even looked on Spotify afterwards. It's just like a random deep cut. It's not even a single. Random deep cut from like album number 5. That's like, it's only got like 5 million streams sort of thing. He starts performing that. I know it, of course, so I'm rapping along to it. And there's a video, it's on my Instagram. He's rapping to it, and then he sees me, like, mouthing it, sort of thing. And he points me out, and he finishes the line with me.
That's
and then
so cool.
For the rest of the show, and Cameron will vouch for this, and I've got the videos, which I actually, because Cameron took all the videos that night just so I could be in it.
Yeah.
I eventually got to a point where I was like, but like, for the rest of the show, whenever he was in my vicinity, in me and Cam's vicinity, he would do like a little duet with the both of us.
Stop.
For the fucking rest of the
so
show.
Cool.
And then when it gets to their final song, he's performing Young, Wild and Free. Everyone's singing.
Oh,
it's a
that's
vibe.
a good one.
He's singing that. And literally, it's on my Instagram. He's singing, and then he literally comes up to me, points me out, and he says, "Sing that shit, twin."
Oh, you know what's funny is that I already know all this, but it's so nice hearing it again.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good.
1 year ago to today. You know what I mean? I was like, bro.
Bro, if Taylor Swift called me her twin,
bro,
I don't know what I would do.
Bro, I'm so fucking fortunate, fam. Like, the show in of itself was fucking spectacular as well. Like, he was performing songs I never even thought he would perform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You can't even speak about it.
I can't. You know what I mean? He pulled like Peaches and Cream out and Let's Get Blown and all this sort of shit. And I was like, damn, I'm hearing these live. I've been like a fan of these songs forever.
And who knows the next time you'll hear them live?
Well, he's one of those artists where like anytime he's around, of course I'm going. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but how often does you say
Exactly.
yourself? In 9 years.
Exactly.
Like,
So show ends, I walk out and I see all my friends who were like back in the mosh, and I was just a crackhead. There's no other way to explain it. I was just a crackhead, and they all got to witness it. They all got it. They all like just knew. It was just that. I go back to Cam's place. We pull out the recording of the interaction, and I didn't even know this when I was like a crackhead. Imagine if I did. I had no idea. So we play back the recording. This is what he says at both times that I didn't hear him. So when I first meet him, and then just before I take my photo, you know what he says? Australian Snoop Dogg's in the house. And then when I'm walking away and he calls out after me, he says to everyone else, and he calls out to me. He's like, yeah, that's Australian Snoop Dogg right over there. I was like listening to it, and I was like, wait, what did he say? And then he's like, play it back. And we're listening to it, and we're like, bro.
Please tell me
Matt,
you've put that on your hard drive.
Oh yeah, back. It's
you
backed.
need to
it's backed.
back it
I'm
up
sorry,
like
but
3 or 4 times.
2K.
You can never get rid of that clip.
Bro. I don't care if I'm homeless.
You will have that.
Yeah, bro. And that's the thing as well, because it changed my... I know I've gone a bit overboard with it, but it's changed my life forever from that point. You know why? Because I think of like when I was like the lowest point I ever was in my life, like when I was 16 and I was going through shit that was like, bro, like there was no way out of it. Like, you know, and like, you know, I'd been through like certain things and like, you know, very happy that I'm even here today. But if I were to like think back then, if only I had known that what was in store, bro, I like, you know what I mean?
That's the whole point. You never know what's around the corner.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know how things are going to turn out.
I had no idea that was on my life bingo card. Never in a million years would have I ever thought.
Cool.
So literally like from that day onwards, like, you know, of course life gets fucking hard, and I've definitely found myself in like times of like, fuck, like, but you know, I can never be ungrateful ever again for the rest of my life. Like,
so nice.
Ever.
That's so... I'm jealous that you have that.
Yeah.
God.
It honestly changed my life.
Yeah.
From that point. I can never just be like, if society collapses, because I'm always waiting for the day. If society collapses and we're in World War III and everything's going to shit and things are just getting incrementally worse, at least I had that. At least I had that. Because not many people do.
I don't really know anyone else that has not only met their favorite artist, but had their favorite artist say something so cool to them.
Yeah.
Like, not even cool, life-changing.
Yeah.
Something that's so, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like affirming.
Anyone who knows me from the days of high school watching this, like, you saw how big of a, it was almost like a religion to me, like me preaching my Snoop shit. And it was like, imagine if me back then knew that this was going to happen sort of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, we've gone very much over it.
Really over time.
Really over time. But you know what? Biggest episode ever. Fucking oath.
It's for the two biggest
Yeah, exactly.
legends.
Two biggest songs.
Oh, all right. We got to wrap up.
Well, hey, we're going to exchange our albums. Won't take too long. I'll let you go first.
I haven't really picked the theme.
Doesn't have to be a theme. If anything you pick, I'll match it.
Okay, you know what? I'm actually, in honor of Taylor Swift, I'm going to introduce you to Taylor Swift. All right.
I'm just going to tell you now. Okay.
Oh, no. What? I'm not going to give you a big one.
No. I'm telling you now. Just if you're giving me a Taylor Swift album, I already know what I've picked out.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
That's fine. I'm going to give you an album that I loved as soon as I heard it and revisit it, I would say once a week.
Okay.
Once a week.
Yep.
This song has got me through
Song?
some of the worst times of my life.
Song or album?
Album.
Yeah.
Some of the hardest, most challenging, and I still listen to it today and it still makes me cry. I was listening to it last week in the car and I just burst into tears because the song is the album is so meaningful. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It's the best. It's so good. And you will not have heard a single song from this album. And it's such a good introduction to Taylor Swift.
Okay.
I'm giving
I'm expecting like Shakespeare level.
This is her Shakespeare album.
This is her Shakespeare album?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm giving you Evermore by Taylor Swift.
Did that come before the other one?
No. So it went Folklore and then Evermore within 6 months of each other. Less than 6 months. But I'm going to give you Evermore first.
Why?
Fuck, maybe I should give you Folklore first. Should I give you Folklore first?
What do you think?
If
they're sister albums.
Yeah, sister albums.
Yeah. So if you want, it's up to you.
Okay, you know what? I've changed my mind. I'm giving you Folklore first.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to give you Folklore first because it introduces you into the theme that she explores in the next two albums.
Yeah, okay.
I'm going to give you Folklore.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Don't listen to Evermore though.
Okay.
Folklore only.
Because I was going to say shouldn't that be the first one? If it's because I know they're like.
I changed my mind. It's because I listen to Evermore more than
Folklore.
Folklore.
Gotcha.
But they are both as magnificent as each other.
Maybe I need that to understand the next one.
I agree.
Well, it's quite hilarious to end a Taylor Swift themed episode on this note. But the album.
Oh, you bitch. I already know.
So the album I'm going to pass over.
Don't you dare.
So it's an album called The College Dropout by an artist formerly known as Kanye West.
No.
That's the best. I love it. I love that I've been given this opportunity.
I didn't know that's what you meant when you said, if you give me Taylor Swift, I have something ready.
The exchange is happened. It's on video.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so The College Dropout is the debut album by artist Kanye West.
You're joking.
You need to listen to it.
I'm not listening to Kanye West.
No, you do.
He's crazy.
He's a genius. This motherfucker Shakespeare in the flesh, Walt Disney. That's what he says. Anyway.
We're ending this episode.
Well, you'll get to hear our thoughts on that.
God, no. I don't want to do Kanye.
No, you have to. Anyway.
Can't you give me another Snoop
No.
You know what? That's so unfair.
That's a fair trade.
No, it's not.
Yes, a fair trade.
The album I'm giving you is so good.
This album is so good. And you know what?
I'm skeptical.
No, as you should be.
Yeah.
But you'll get to see what it's actually about.
I don't care to know.
Because everyone would be like, oh, what? Because I knew I was going to do this. Well, everyone's like telling me,
you didn't even warn me.
Well, here's the thing. All right, so everyone's like, oh, but what Kanye album would you give it? Because he's got
who said that
masterpieces.
to you?
Lots of people, right? Lots of people. Anyway, so I was like, I feel like it's only right to start at the beginning, no matter what. If there's one Kanye album that if this is the only one that you hear, this is the one. It's his first album.
You know what? And it will be the only one.
We'll see about that. But anyway, should we wrap up the episode? Tune in for next time, especially in our music reviews when that one comes. But
I'm so mad. I'm so mad. The title's going to be Taylor Swift and Kanye West.
Yes, that's the best part. That's the best part.
That's the worst part.
Anyway.
I've been scammed.
She's been bamboozled. Anyway.
I'm mad.
Join us next time.
I have nothing to say.
I have to finish it by myself. Tune in. Thanks so much for watching. I know this episode was a big one. We had big things to say. But you know what?
Hopefully you stuck around for the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're here at this point.
Yeah.
But no, enjoy yourselves. Tune in for more. Follow us on Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram.
And TikTok.
And TikTok as well. So,
even though we hate all social media now, but follow us there anyway.
We need it.
Yeah, we do.
No, but thank you very much for tuning in. Have a good one.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya.